Hey everyone, welcome back to theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Again, that website address is theclinicaltrialsguru.com. I read this article that kind of pissed me off a little. It was about, I think it was from the Minneapolis, some newspaper out in Minnesota, and I'll put the link. I'll look for the link and I'll post it under this blog post. But it was talking about how it's so shocking that most clinical trial investigators conduct clinical research in order to earn money. And I just think that's so ridiculous. I mean, of course they do. This entire industry is based upon making money. I mean, from the most fundamental aspects of clinical research, the reason why they're even done in the first place is so the pharma companies can move their stock prices. Because if they don't create new drugs, new compounds, new products, their stock prices will remain flat and their investors will be mad. So, of course, profit-driven motivation is going to trickle down to everyone else in the industry. It trickles down to the CROs. I mean, they exist for one reason and one reason only, and that's to make money. And of course, it trickles down to the research sites. And this article seemed to attack the private research clinics and the private investigators rather than academic institutions. And they were arguing that researchers at academic institutions are more honorable. They were kind of insinuating this type of ideas that clinical trials at academic institutions are not profit-driven. And they're not, it's true, they're not directly profit-driven. They receive grants by the federal government. And myself and Sarah, we're working on an ebook that's going to be 99 cents on Kindle, probably in a month or so. Right now it's August 1st, so it's probably going to be out on the Kindle market in September. But we're going to be talking about clinical trials funding, and we're going to try to demystify this topic. But for this major publication to make the argument that clinical research investigators in the private market or in the private industry are motivated by profits, and therefore academic clinic investigators are more honorable, is ridiculous. And you can ask anyone who's worked in academia. There's a tremendous amount of waste that goes on there. You can ask Sarah Siegler. She used to work at Ohio State University, and she's a perfect example for this topic. So shout out to my guru producer, Sarah Siegler. But I just thought that this article was ridiculous. I mean, the entire industry is based upon profits from the top down, from the drug companies trying to create new products, to the CROs that manage the studies, to the research sites, to the study participants in many cases who join studies. It's all profit driven. There's nothing wrong with this. We do have to have regulations in place, but there's nothing wrong with being profit driven. Every single industry in the United States should be profit driven. I mean, everything from Apple to Pfizer to Starbucks, everything's profit driven. So to argue that academic researchers are more honorable in some way than private clinical research investigators is just ridiculous. I thought the article was just stupid, and I'm sorry to say this, and it's not just because I'm a private clinical trial company owner. And believe me, you don't make profits every year in clinical trials. You can do very well. You can also do very bad. It really depends on, again, the private markets and the supply and demand. If there's clinical trials out there, then you'll do well. And when we're in a slowdown, like we were a few years ago, you don't do well. So it's just risk and reward, supply and demand. It's no different because we're doing clinical trials, than it would be if you're selling coffee. I mean, it's the same concept. It's all profit driven. So for this article to say that, I thought it was ridiculous. Share your thoughts, please. The difference between public institutions and private research clinics. Let me know what you think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I misinterpreted the article. I'd love to hear from you. In any case, it's great to create dialogue. I want to give a shout out to all our clinical trial producers. Speaking of generating profits, it's $99 a year for you to be a clinical trials guru producer. You get your very own page on my site. You get me tweeting about you, blogging about you, putting you on Instagram, mentioning you in every video that I do, which is several per week. So, I mean, $99 a year is really nothing. I want to give a shout out to our guru producers, Sarah Elizabeth Siegler, who I mentioned before, Resolve Research Solutions, PTNR from the Netherlands, Accurate Clinical Trials from Florida, Erdhart Clinical Trials from Missouri, and Patrick Stone, author of The Bubblegum Badge. Let me know what you think about this topic, and I'm looking forward to hearing from all of you. This is Dan from theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Thank you.